afternoon, everybody. This is Tammy.
And John from Dressy Bessie.
And you're listening to the WMNF Tampa.
The opinions presented on the Healthy Steps show are the evidence-based opinions of Dr. Fred Harvey, the callers, and his guests. These are not the opinions of the staff, the volunteers, or the board of WMNF. The information provided on the show is not intended to diagnose or treat any disease. There is no implied patient-physician relationship in these calls. The nature of the calls is educational and informational only.
Good morning to you. Yes, you, my dear listener. I've done the research, and because we're friends, I feel that you should know WMNF Tampa is the best FM station this side of the Tannhauser Gates, and the only community-supported radio station that Claire Dunlap would ever stream, and you can stream us as well by simply going to WMNF.org. Why, look at you, my friend. You are looking pretty darn good today. Dare I say it? You look beautiful. Are you ready to participate and Ask Me Anything Monday? Be the first one on your block to call 813-239-9663 with your medical questions or concerns. Again, that number to call is 813-239-9663. You can also send an email to dj@wmnf.org or text us at 813-433-0885. Well, Dr. Harvey, let me just cut to the chase. Today is Ask Me Anything Monday, that precious hour that you spend with your dear listeners. So let me get out of the way. Take it away there, Dr. Fred.
Well, thank you, Bill. Hope your weekend was lovely. Mine was.
Mine was pretty fantastic, and I'm glad yours was as well. I hope our listeners had a wonderful one.
I agree. Boy, this weather is pretty intense, though, and yes, I hope everybody's protecting themselves with avoiding peak sun and getting lots of water. This world is so intense right now. It's hard to actually come into my show and talk about how we build health after listening to an hour of Amy Goodman and how the world is very ill. Psychopathology is rampant, and we need some hope. So that's what this show is about. Hope for just a little bit more good living, just a little bit more feeling healthy, feeling good about yourself. And I know often I get really complex in my discussions of some of these things because they are really nuanced and complex issues. But there's so much of that going on right now that I decided to talk about something really simple today. Yogurt. Yeah, yogurt. A lot of people eat yogurt, and many people have dairy yogurt. Some do non-dairy type yogurt, but yogurt is a fermented food. I like fermented foods. Fermented foods are something very good for us because we live with a world of bacteria and fungi and viruses. These are part of our environment. They're part of us. In our gut, we have hundreds of different bacteria. We have funguses, little yeast and things that are in there. Occasionally a parasite will pass through. There are viruses that live there and interact with these bacteria and yeast and our body. And we know that some of them are damaging, some of them are healthy. And we know that the microbiome in the gut is really very integral in your health. You need to have a good, happy family of bacteria and other organisms in your gut to have your systems run optimally, have digestion work appropriately, have neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine be manufactured appropriately, to have toxins removed from the body appropriately. And so eating fermented foods can really help to improve your microbiome. The better yogurts probably don't add much sugar because sugar will also help disrupt the microbiome, but you want to look for low sugar. I mean, some of the ones have only like maybe a half a teaspoon of added sugar, maybe 3 grams of added sugar, maybe 4. That's not really too bad. We don't really want to have a lot of added sugar, but we also want people to be able to enjoy their food. and yogurt's very sour. There are some really good natural yogurts. I get occasionally a Bulgarian yogurt at one of the health food stores that is very tart, and it's got like 7 different bacterial organisms in it to create that specific flavor. But traditional yogurt is just fermented cow's milk, and the bacteria, lactobacillus and others, ferment the lactose, the milk sugar, into lactic acid. That's what makes the sour taste. And depending on the type of milk used, you'll have different varying amounts of fat, but much of the sugar has been actually metabolized. And so it's turned into lactic acid. And so to get the yogurt sweet again, people add sugar, honey, or other things into it. Fruit actually can do that. Fruit juice, concentrated fruits, even a spoon of jam. Greek yogurt is strained regular yogurt. So regular yogurt is just fermented milk. So it's got a lot of water in it. When you put a pile of yogurt into a cheesecloth, you will actually allow the whey to drip out. And so the whey is the mix of proteins and water that come from the curdling process. As you ferment these things, the proteins tend to change, and the water drops out when you actually do the straining, and so you get a really thick, very dense yogurt, much higher protein per spoonful. And so very similar to Greek yogurt is skyr, which is Icelandic yogurt. It's probably the thickest. It's almost like soft cheese. And it's really the highest in terms of protein. And so you might get 16 grams in a 150 gram container. That's like 10% of over 10% is protein. Regular yogurt may be down around 7 grams. And non-dairy yogurt like coconut may have 1 or 0 grams, almond maybe 1 or 2 grams, but they're much lower unless you get added protein. One of the companies makes a coconut yogurt, but they add pea protein to it, so it gets up to the 15 grams, and it's very thick, just like Greek yogurt. There's Australian yogurt called Wallaby. I think they actually add like egg yolk into it or something that makes it thicker. There's something different about their brand. Also, they use whole milk, so it's a thicker just based on the extra fat. Kefir is a combination of bacteria and yeast that ferments the milk. So you get a kind of like a sourdough milk, essentially the drinkable yogurt. And so that's easier to do on the run. But yogurt has lots of benefits. So like I said before, it actually promotes active, live changes in your microbiome. It helps your microbiome to do better. Raw milk, available at some certain local dairies, is available to actually have the actual local bacteria in there. They don't have to add a lot of other bacteria because the cows actually naturally have colonization by lactobacillus. And so many varieties of pasteurized milk, yogurt are actually, they have added probiotics because once you cook the milk, you kill the bacteria. Yogurt, eating a couple of cups a day can actually result in more weight loss, possibly because of having a better microbiome, because we do know that a bad microbiome and inflammatory gut is going to create weight and stress. And so you might actually have more cortisol when your gut is stressed. And so if you actually improve your microbiome, you might have less stress, less cortisol, and then less weight gain. It might be easier to let it go if your cortisol is lower. So vitamins and other nutrients. Yogurt contains B12 and helps maintain your blood system. But it also has potassium, phosphorus, riboflavin, which is B2, iodine, zinc, and vitamin B5, pantothenic acid. These are all very good supports. And that's in an 8-ounce serving, you get 1.4 micrograms of B12. Women need 2.4 micrograms. Men need a bit more. So you get a really close to half, a little over half of what you need just in a container of yogurt. Yogurt promotes recovery because yogurt has really a right ratio of protein to carbohydrates, especially if you just add some fruit into a plain yogurt. You're going to have a really good balance there because you get a lot of fiber with the fruit. And yogurt does have some vitamin D if it is enhanced, because vitamin D milk is often used, but and some people actually add it. Yeah, some brands add some vitamin D in, but you get calcium too. A great source for the calcium and the protein. You need protein to build good bones. Yogurt is low in sodium and high in potassium, and potassium may help to blunt blood pressure. It boosts your immune system, and you may actually find that you have less problems with allergy and or with colds. It helps your teeth because yogurt, actually the lactic acid helps to protect your gums, and the good probiotics help to protect your teeth from the bad bacteria that cause cavities. And it promotes satiety because it's often high in fiber, or high in fat and high in protein, and that really helps with controlling appetite. So if you're looking for an easy to eat, easy to find food that is really pro-health, I would suggest you take a look at yogurt. It is so good for you. And I want to remind everybody that you can call and ask me about yogurt or anything else. This is the Healthy Steps Show on WMNF Tampa, and I believe we might have a caller.
We do, and that was a great invite for me to extend. This is the Healthy Steps Radio Show, and as the doctor was saying, you are invited to participate, so give us a call. The number is 813-239-9663. Sarah is answering the phones again today. God bless her heart. That number to call is 813-239-9663. Or you can continue to send your emails to dj@wmnf.org. And indeed, I do have a caller. Let's go to Lee in Ruskin. Good morning, Lee.
Hello, Lee. Are you there?
Well, I thought I had Lee there. I'll play with it on this end. You just take it away.
I'll keep rolling, yeah. So, yogurt is one of the good fermenters, but there's so many other really delicious fermented foods. I love sauerkraut, and I'm really blessed here in Sarasota. There is a local fermenter who makes all kinds of flavors of sauerkraut. It's actually she's built her business, and it's carried in some of the health food stores. It's actually at the farmers market. It even shows up on online ordering for my organic farm in Arcadia where I get food. And so she has seeds in them and turmeric in them, and there's a really good one that's rather sweet. It's a combination of beets and sauerkraut, but or cabbage, and these ferments just are great to throw on any salad. You could throw it in a bowl of soup for different flavor, but adding ferments to your diet really helps. And I think we might have our caller now.
Yes, let's give Lee another try. Good morning, Lee.
Good morning.
Hi there.
Hello.
What you got for me today, Lee?
Good morning, Doctor. I enjoyed your comments about yogurt. Anyway, I want to get your opinion about eating one meal a day. I mean, just a healthy meal, protein, vegetables, fiber. I've noticed that a lot of military men, generals, and even Hannibal, they only ate one meal a day. What's your opinion on that?
I think everyone is different, and if your body likes one meal a day, go for it. I actually have a body that tends to like to be fed frequently. And so I eat 3, maybe 4 meals between the hours of sun and sun. I'm a diurnal eater. I eat during the day. I try never to eat anything at night because it generally disrupts my sleep, gives me other issues, and it's just not good for my body. And so, yeah, I think that if you like eating 1 meal a day and you get adequate calories, that's the thing. You have to make sure you're getting your macros to support your bones, hair, skin, things like that. You want to have enough fats in your diet to support your brain function. So in that 1 meal, make sure you're getting omega-3s and saturated fats and getting protein, simple and complex carbs and fats. I mean, the whole thing is so important. You have to eat a lot in 1 meal to get what you need for a day.
Okay. My second question I got right here, where I got it written down here. Okay. I was going to add protein powder to my morning shake. I make a protein shake. It's got some things in it. But then I eat a 19-ounce can of pinto beans, Spanish beans, delicious, at least 5 times a week.
Excellent.
Is that enough protein, or should I add more too?
Well, in 1 can of beans, I think you're not going to get enough protein to run your body. And also you have to remember that beans are not a complete protein. We're animals, and animals need a full complement of animal protein, and plants don't have that. Grains and beans complement each other, which is why the third world lives on rice and beans. So if you're going to do those beans, you need to actually get some grain with it, which is why tortillas are also very important in Mexican food. The beans do have protein though, and in a cup, you're going to get 15 grams. So in your can, it's probably a 16-ounce can. It's probably 30 grams of protein. That's, for you, probably half of what you need for the day.
It's a 19-ounce can, 19.5 actually.
Okay, so you may get a little bit more than that. Still, it's, for you, it's like on the bottom end of like a half of what you need in protein for a day.
Should I add some protein powder, you think, to my morning ritual?
Well, I think that's fine, but I would consider adding some things like eggs and mackerel and other foods that have protein in.
How about rice?
Rice is a necessary. Rice or corn. You need a grain with your beans to get the full biologic protein, because the grains miss amino acids and the beans miss amino acids that are in animal proteins. So if you take the two of them together, they complement and you get the full amount. So you need to have the minimal protein in rice to match up with the protein in the beans.
If you were not following that regimen and you were not eating enough of what you suggested, would you feel tired all the time?
Likely.
Okay, I understand. I think.
Yeah, you got to get adequate nutrition to fuel the engine.
Yeah, I got you. What's your opinion of the Mediterranean diet? I've been looking at that.
The Mediterranean diet is the human diet. It's what we've been eating for the last 50,000 years. Right. With modifications. The Mediterranean diet for me is plant forward, 80% plants, maybe even 90% plants with 10 to 20% animal product. That's the Mediterranean diet. You eat a rainbow, you eat everything you possibly can, as many kinds of plants as you can per week. There's a study that shows that if you get 35 plants per week in your diet, you have a very happy microbiome. Most people have about 7 plants maximum.
You mean different plants, or you can repeat the same plant over again, like collards? You can definitely repeat the same plant over and again, but you need to have 35 different plants each week to get the most impact for your microbiome. And I consider that when you take some garlic and some parsley and some cilantro, and you whiz them up in a blender with some olive oil, and you make a chimichurri out of it, you've got 4 plants there: olive, garlic,
cilantro, and parsley. And so that's an easy way to get more plants into your diet with sauces, with salads. You put 7 plants in a salad, a little celery, a little carrot, a little onion, a little sprouts. Get one of those sprouted mixes that have 4 different types of plants in it. Throw a handful of that on there. Throw some of your special sauerkraut that's been fermented locally and not cooked with vinegar.
Right.
Real sauerkraut with seeds, fennel and turmeric seed, other kinds of things in it. You're going to get more plants. It's pretty easy if you just start throwing plants into it.
Well, every morning I make me a cocktail. I have kale, and that's the only vegetable I put in it. What would you suggest I add to that? Centro, what you say, Centro or something?
I would say the best thing to do is to go online and look for a plant-based diet book or a plant-based diet, but not vegan, because there's a bunch of people out there who are vegetarian, vegan, who don't eat any animal and call that plant-based. Well, I'm based in Sarasota and I travel. I'm based in plants, but I eat meat. So plant-based, what I'm talking about is like a Mediterranean diet. Google Mediterranean diet books and figure out what you're going to add, because if you look at the Mediterranean diet, you're going to add plants.
Yes, I can buy into that for sure. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, and I'll enjoy the rest of your show.
Thanks. Enjoy your week, and good luck finding some plants.
I'm trying, man. The problem is you can't find I go to Publix and Walmart. You can't find no good vegetables around here. And
Lord, I get vegetables at Publix. Even I actually have found them at Walmart. Totally surprised. I don't know that I trust Chinese organics, but they do say organic on it. But you have to shop around. I go to 5 different stores for my food because not everybody is consistent with the stuff they're offering.
Yeah, they get it where they can. Yeah.
Right. There's a great place locally. It's got probably 14 stores. Started as one store here in town, and they're Amish people, or Mennonites actually, and they actually are vegetable traders. I mean, I just got some beautiful Pennsylvania sweet corn. I grew up in Pennsylvania. For me, Pennsylvania sweet corn is the bomb. It is the one. Florida sweet corn doesn't compare. Pennsylvania sweet corn is so sweet, tender, and delicious that I had to buy some. And so I just love plants. I'm just going to keep eating them. And I would hope you do too.
Like I say, I love tomatoes, but I cannot find no good tomatoes. They're all coming out of offshore. And
yes.
And I can't find, they're green. You get them home, they rotten before you can eat them.
Okay, so here's the deal. Stay on the line here. Listen to the next show and start talking about in your mind about creating your sustainable garden. Grow your tomatoes at home. They're the best ones I eat. And you know what? Here in Florida, we're very fortunate because there's a thing called the Seminole tomato. It is a native weed. And if you have a Seminole tomato in your yard, it will self-propagate for infinity. You will have so many little orange, delightful tomatoes and red, delightful tomatoes. You can't imagine how much bounty these things are going to give you. And they keep self-propagating. You can't get rid of them.
What are you saying, son? What?
Seminole tomato.
Oh, Seminole. Oh, like the Indians. Okay.
Yeah, it's the local native tomato.
I'll try that. Okay, I'll be listening to your show, and thank you very much again.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
And thank you there, Lee. And I'm looking at the boards here, and I feel like pretty happy, or as Red Barber would say, sitting in the catbird seat. I've got Carol from Lakeland, Dave from Tampa, John from Sarasota, and Chris from Clearwater. Let's go to Carol. Good morning, Carol.
Hi. I want to know, what is your opinion about the weight loss stock Manjaro?
I'm sorry, what is my opinion about what?
What is it, Manjaro?
Oh, okay, Manjaro, yes. Manjaro is in a class of medications called GLP-1 agonists. That's glucagon-like peptide, number 1, agonist, which means it stimulates this little receptor that tells your body to not be hungry and to be less inflamed. And these medications are really amazing in the kind of signaling that they do to change where your body's going. I use that class regularly in my practice because it's a very potent tool for changing how your metabolism is working.
Okay.
How's that help?
What about the side effects?
I'm sorry?
That's what I'm afraid of, the side effects.
I can't understand. You're breaking up too badly.
What do you feel about the side effects?
Well, everything that we do in medicine, any intervention that we do has a risk-benefit profile. And the adverse consequences from taking GLP-1 agonists are present. I've watched a couple of people have a little bit of queasiness, a little bit of constipation. These people,
Thank you.
these people seem to have moved on through it. I can't understand. You're breaking up too badly.
Could you turn off your radio?
Turn off your
there,
radio,
Carol?
my dear.
Yeah.
So everything that we do is
Let's move on.
medicine.
Okie dokie. I've got Dave in Tampa. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Dave.
Morning, Dr. Harvey. How are you?
Excellent. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. I was wondering if you could give me some advice on treating Parkinson's disease. About a year and a half ago, I was diagnosed with it, and I don't seem to have many of the symptoms that I've read about, but I've been prescribed carbidopa, levodopa in varying strengths, and told to exercise, get out and exercise. My diet's been very good for years. I've been an amateur athlete for a long time, and so I'm physically still strong, but I just don't feel that I've got enough information on this, or if there's a better resolution. What would you be able to tell me?
You're not really experiencing and weren't experiencing symptoms when you got diagnosed?
I don't have any. I don't have tremor. I don't have any of the classic symptoms that goes along with it.
So how did they diagnose you?
Anything? How with an MRI, they said there was a damage at the extension nodule.
Yeah. So why would they have done that test? What was going on with you?
I was hit by a car riding a bicycle, and I was laid up for about 3 months in a hospital and rehab. And so in post-rehab, I've been trying to get back on my feet and do what I like to do, but my balance is really far off. I forgot to mention that was part of it.
Did they do a DAT scan on you?
Yes.
Okay, and that showed up positive?
Yes.
Okay, so as with all neurodegenerative diseases, Parkinson's, dementia, ALS, they're all, in a sense, similar in that you're having an assault on your brain cells. And so we know that there are interactions between viruses and pesticides, herbicides. There's all kinds of things that can actually damage the brain. And in Parkinson's, there seems to be a very high correlation with pesticide use. And so I would suggest that you have a doctor evaluate you for causality and see what other things are on board that could be promoting this. Most people don't get it from a fall, but that can be a systemic inflammatory event that can cause breakdown in organs like your brain. Neurology, unfortunately, doesn't have any global way of looking at the human. They focus on a label, Parkinson's disease, and they focus on the things that they have to medically treat it, so the pills. But they don't really have much depth in neurodegenerative disease, though they are neurologists. Unfortunately, they are only illness neurologists. They don't know about, they probably know a little bit about brain function, but they don't actually do anything for anybody to enhance it. Such as, has anybody looked at your omega-3 levels, your omega-3 index? If your omega-3 index hasn't been checked, and it probably hasn't, you are likely to be low in your omega-3s, which then makes your brain at a deficit for healing.
Okay.
So you need somebody who's going to look deep. And so you could find somebody like that by going to ifm.org, the Institute for Functional Medicine.org, and doing a Google search in your area for a doctor who looks at things for causality. Because you're looking at a doctor who does labeling and treating.
I can identify with what you're saying with the doctor, because when he first told me that this was what I was suffering from, I had many questions for him, and he seemed to be heading for the door as I was asking him. And he said to me as he was going through the door, or out to the next patient, if you have any questions, the best place to find answers is Wikipedia. So,
fabulous, fabulous. So he is, do you know what the word doctor means in Greek? It means teacher. Unfortunately, that has dropped by the wayside in the 4-minute insurance visit.
You're right. That's what it seems to me, too.
So I would look for a doctor who's going to talk to you about this, to explain it to you, and help you actually deal with it. And a book you might read, though it's not about your condition, a book you could read is called End of Alzheimer's, Reversing Cognitive Decline. If you address a lot of the concepts in that book, you'll be actually addressing your neurodegenerative disease, even if it's not specifically dementia. But you have to know and remember that Parkinson's disease descends into dementia in later stages.
Right.
So you want to get on the dementia pathway of clearing those things out that promote poor brain function. And it's all in Bredesen's book. You don't have to focus on the ApoE stuff, but you might want to get that checked, because ApoE is the dementia predisposer. You could have both without even knowing it. But really, finding out what your, structural levels are. Do you have enough B12 to make the brain run right? These are tests that I do. There's a great company called Genova Diagnostics. They do a test called the Nutra-Eval, and it looks at what's happening behind the scenes to see if you're actually functioning inside your cells. Most doctors don't do that. They look for dead cell markers. That's the liver function test.
I see. Okay, I appreciate all your help and advice, and giving me alternative paths to follow.
Wonderful. Dave, I like to instill hope, and I hope that you find some solutions for what you're going with.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much for all your help today.
Blessings, sir.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes, indeed. Best wishes to you there, Dave. And now I've got John, Chris, and then Ann and Joel. Let's go to John in Sarasota. Good morning, John.
Hey, Dr. Harvey. Thanks for taking my call.
Welcome, John.
Love your show. You were on talking about yogurt, and I just got I take acidophilus every day, and I didn't know what the if that's a good substitute, and if I should just be doing a broader acidophilus or probiotics, so to say. I know yogurt is probably the more direct way to work your biome, but I didn't know if acidophilus does help, and what your opinion on that was. And then I have a second question when you answer that one, if you don't mind.
Okay, so acidophilus, I think, is a good probiotic. We actually don't really know what taking probiotics does. We're trying to figure it out. And there's so many different ones, and so many different ways to do it. However, I have seen people improve by using probiotics in a package, in a capsule. But I know in my body, I actually have the best bowel function when I do a huge variety of plants, including fermented plants and fermented foods otherwise. So I like my yogurt. I eat it several times a week. I also get some raw cottage cheese and have that a couple times a week. I like dairy. Some people can't do dairy. Other ferments include all those sauerkrauts that I was talking about. We had, when I was doing my transition from a regular yard into a food forest, we had a lot of papaya growing. Right now we don't have a lot of papaya, but we had so much papaya that we were actually doing papaya slaw. We were shredding up pounds of this stuff and just having it naturally ferment. It was delicious. And so you can do it yourself. You can ferment your own food. You have to be careful about it so you don't get it contaminated. But there's so many places you can buy local ferments and just good vegetables. Make sure you're getting as many vegetables as you can to get that better microbiome. I found I don't need to take probiotics as often. I take them maybe once a week or something now because everything works well when you're doing it naturally.
Yeah, I only take it about once or twice a week with a meal.
Yeah,
I don't really rely on it. I try to do as much vegetables as possible. But I had called last week also because I had or a couple of weeks ago about a possibility of having an allergy. My skin was itchy, and I was eating peanut butter at night, and then when I heard you comment earlier about not eating during the night, I was wondering if maybe that's that this night eating is causing itching and causing some sort of reaction. Only when the days got really hotter that I lost my appetite during the day to eat because it was so hot and I'm outdoors a lot. But
yeah.
And so I find myself eating like in the evening, and then I won't eat again till the afternoon the next day. But I didn't know if maybe I'm getting an allergy to I eat peanut butter and banana at night, and so I didn't know if these maybe were contributing to my itching.
Well, I just read an article recently about peanut allergy being on the rise in adults. And I wonder if this is actually related to some of the mold in the peanuts, the aflatoxins from the mold. And it could be because they do actually cause mast cell destabilization. Mast cells are the allergy cells releasing histamine. And so it could be that you're triggering it with something in the peanuts.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope not, because I've just been a peanut butter eater most of my life. I mean, I grew up on PB&J's, but I had as of lately, I've been finding that somehow it's a soothing thing at night. I have a banana with some peanut butter, and it makes my stomach feel good. I could sleep well on that. I don't know.
Okay, so here's an option to try an elimination diet to see if peanuts, which are known to be an allergen in many places, switch over to cashew butter or almond butter and try that for 3 weeks and see if anything changes.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to have to do something like that. All right. Well, thank you so much for your show. It's always delightful to hear your opinion.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
And good luck with that.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you there, John. Let's go to Chris in Clearwater. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Talking about fermented foods. When I get yogurt, you often let it stay out for days, weeks, months, sometimes to ferment even longer. As long as I don't open it, it's not contaminated. And even if it tastes like or smells and tastes like buttermilk, I think it's incredibly much more effective. It just is much more uplifting when I eat it that way. And I know it might put off some people, but I think it's safe. It's always been safe for me as long as you just make sure it's not contaminated, which is extremely rare. Coming
right
from the fact. So.
Yeah, basically you're making cheese out of your yogurt, huh?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, and I also like kimchi. That really gives me a lot of energy when I eat that before a meal, compared to other fermented products. I think it's because it has a lot more probiotics in it. And
yeah, I do. I love kimchi. In fact, that the local fermenter here in Sarasota has a kimchi variety, and hers is a little less intensely hot than some of the other ones that I've had, but it's delicious. And I love the garlic in it because that's not like the usual sauerkraut.
Oh, yeah, I love hot. I guess I tend to ignore hot foods because I've been brushing my teeth with oregano oil since the mid-'90s, so quite a heat tolerance. I just think it's the best flavor enhancer. I can taste every ingredient when I eat hot, spicy food. And also, there's colostrum, even though it's not fermented. It's great for the microbiome. And I found Anovite is a brand that sells pet colostrum, so it does not have to be pasteurized because it's not marketed for humans, which, as you may know, dairy crossing state lines is required by federal law to be pasteurized. So
Yes.
finally I found an unpasteurized raw colostrum, and I've always had good luck with that.
Colostrum is a very good immune booster. It's often called transfer factor because it's the antibodies in the colostrum with which the mother transfers immunity to the infant who has yet to develop its own antibody immunity.
Yeah, and cow colostrum is identical to human colostrum, except for one molecule that the stomach acid breaks in half to be recognized as identical, but because other mammals other than humans, like cows, get most of their nutrition and immunity and growth factors, immune factors, right after they give birth, whereas we get most of our nutrition before we give birth through the placenta.
We still do need to have colostrum from our mothers because we don't have the antibodies yet made. Colostrum, no matter where it comes from, is a necessary food for the infant who doesn't have immunity. But we know that the antibodies actually bind up things in your gut. So they've actually marketed products that are colostrum whey that have been, and also the immune egg comes from a flock of chickens they've immunized against 26 different human pathogens. The immune egg, IgY, actually produces a colostrum-like thing in the egg yolk, and so you can take this, and it actually is effective against Klebsiella and Streptococcus and Staphylococcus. It's really cool. And so, yes, I agree with you. Getting more of these immune boosts is really helpful for all of us, Chris.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about you say immune eggs?
Yeah, it's called the immune egg, hyperimmune egg. Look it up. They actually inoculate the flock with our pathogens, and then it's like a passive oral antibiotic that doesn't actually act like those poison antibiotics that we do. It just actually binds up the bacteria and helps your body eliminate them. Really cool stuff.
Okay, I'll look that up. Yeah, and the cow colostrum has a lot more immune factors and growth factors than human colostrum.
Yes, it actually has been shown to promote some improvement in IGF-1 and growth hormone in humans. It's really great. These are excellent foods. Thank you, Chris, for bringing that up.
Yeah, and
I think I have 3 more on the line after you.
Oh, yeah, real quick. I wanted to also mention that Dr. Sabine Hazan, who's a gastroenterologist, published a study showing bifidobacterium, which, as you know, is in yogurt, is reduced somewhere from half to, in some of the subjects, they had 0 bifidobacterium from the COVID mRNA shots, either the Moderna or the Pfizer shots. And
I've been seeing people with 0 bifidobacterium from long before the COVID pandemic ever happened. I've been doing stool tests on people for 30 years, and it's not a new problem. People have had trashed microbiomes for decades, which is why so many people in America got so sick from COVID. We're an unbalanced, very sick society in America. Very, very. Yeah. Eating all these processed foods wipes out the microbiome.
Well, she also found a little bit of hope that ivermectin, which is fermented.
Yeah, but we don't need ivermectin. What we need to do is actually eat the right foods. Thank you, Chris.
Right.
I'm going to go on to the next caller.
Too many drawbacks for me, but could you comment on the neurological implications of having good gut flora, autism, how fecal transplants, I think, vindicated Dr.
Fecal transplants are an interesting other tool. There's so many tools, but I think the first tool is eat a rainbow of plants and eat a Mediterranean diet.
Okay, I do have Ann in Gulfport and Joel, and just only about 10 more minutes, so we'll see about Laura and Victoria. Let's go to Ann. Good morning, Ann.
Hello?
Hey, Ann. What you got?
Hi. I just want to say I'm glad you're talking about yogurt. I've been watching yogurt for years. I remember my mother started us. She was an Adele Davis fan back in the 50s.
Wonderful.
And I've been eating yogurt, wheat germ, and honey most of my life. Now I don't eat the wheat germ so much anymore. But I can't go without yogurt. I eat it just about every day. I used to make my own yogurt. I haven't in a while, but it's all great stuff. I think it's really funny that people go out and I learned when I lived in New York City, I had a number of Middle Eastern friends, and they taught me about Greek yogurt. quote
Oh,
unquote
yeah.
Greek yogurt. They just strained their yogurt, long before it was popular to be called Greek yogurt. And
Yes.
so yogurt is great. But my question is, I want to know about mid-chain triglycerides. I hear a lot about that. I understand feta cheese, real feta cheese that's made with goat's or sheep's milk, has a lot of mid-chain triglycerides in it. Could you talk a little bit about those MCT things?
Yeah, MCT oil, coconut oil is high in it. Medium chain triglycerides are a set of fats that are rather beneficial for your brain, and they're metabolized easily, they're absorbed easily, and they occur in certain foods, like I said, the coconut oil. But there's actually a study out there that shows that it helps to maybe blunt the speed that cognitive decline occurs, and may even halt the cognitive decline. They even have a medication, Inova or something like that, that was proven to actually help. It doesn't cure Alzheimer's disease, but I think anytime we get good nutrition in, it's going to help support our systems.
Well, I'd like to know what things. I know I have heard that feta cheese, like I said, contains MCTs. Are there other foods you can get now?
Coconut oil. Coconut oil. It's one of the best sources for it.
And feta cheese does contain them, as far as you know?
I have no idea. Never even looked at it. I focus on coconut oil because it's like half MCT oil. It's the highest you can get.
Okay, and that coconut oil is the best then?
Best as what?
I mean, the best MCT. I mean, I was just wondering.
It probably is the highest source and easily accessed. You can get some really good organic, first cold press coconut oil. And so you can get some really safe, clean, sustainably sourced material.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much there. And let's go to Joel in Tampa. Good morning, Joel.
Hello, Doc.
Hey,
good to
Joel.
hear from you, and good to hear you today. I have this old Brooklyn Dodger fan has a burning question for you.
What's that?
What do you know about Red Barber?
Very little. I think he was a bit pre my time.
Okay, well, I appreciate your quote. I attended a historic event yesterday when the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers came to play the Tampa Bay Rays at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, the last game that they will ever come to Tampa to play the Rays. And so I participated in that historical event.
Wonderful.
On the subject of health, which is why you're here, there was a fellow with itching. And for 67 years, I've had psoriatic arthritis, and I have itching. And in my research, as a teacher of wellness and healthy lifestyles for 36 years, I discovered that it's an angry liver that's causing that. And one needs to address the liver when it comes to itching disease, skin, or vision. And the liver is angry. If you eat junk at night before you go to sleep, your liver is going to speak.
That's quite possible, yeah. And a lot of people notice that too. And itching can be from the liver, but it can also be from a lot of other things like mast cell activation. Histamine causes lots of itching.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. Well, that's inflammation. And yeah, we have...
That's actually mast cell triggering, different from inflammation.
I got inflammation.
Yes.
I shop at, for the guy who likes spicy foods and fermented, I got a great source. Meacham Urban Farm, downtown Tampa, 1108 East Scott Street, sells a product that I really love. A number of fermented products. One is whole grain koji mustard.
Wow, that sounds really good. And
the ingredients are cider vinegar, mustard seeds, mustard powder, water, koji, and salt.
Sounds interesting.
Spicy good, a little half teaspoon before meals works for me. And the Meacham Farm is downtown Tampa if anybody's interested. The store phone on Monday afternoon.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate you. Let's move on.
All right, I've got Laura from Bartow on the line. Good morning, Laura. Let's see what you can do in about a minute or two.
Okay, I looked up the Seminole tomatoes last week when I heard Dr. Harvey speaking about them.
Yes.
How do I get them? I can't just go to the store and buy them.
No, you don't buy. You have to get the plant. You have to go to a farm store and go and buy the plant. Or you buy the seeds.
Where? I looked it up, and it says order online and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, you can do that too.
No, I can't. I don't do that. I just want to go to the store.
There are farm and garden stores in basically every city. Sarasota has about 4 of them, maybe 5.
Okay, but I can't find Seminole tomatoes anywhere in my area near me.
All right, then I think you might have to order it online. Or you might have to drive out of your area to a place that has it.
So I got some. They sell them in Sarasota?
I believe I've seen the plants at Sarasota Farm and Garden, but I think I'd make a phone call before I drive there.
I know that's right.
Okay. All right, Laura. You have a wonderful day. And good luck finding those Seminole tomatoes.
Okay, bye.
It's worth the effort there, Laura. Let's wrap it on up with Victoria. Got a second there, Victoria?
Yes.
What you got for me, Victoria?
I normally take 5,000 units of vitamin D3, and I ordered something recently and it came in at 1,000, but they're gel caps. I don't really want to take 10,000, but cutting them in half doesn't seem like a good idea. If I did take the 10,000, would that be an issue?
It's probably not going to be an issue. You could get your vitamin D level checked, and then the other, and also a calcium maybe if it goes too high. But I've never really seen anybody have vitamin D toxicity. However, if you want to keep on your 5,000 a day dose, it's a fat soluble vitamin, so it hangs around. You could do 10,000 every other day, and you're on 5,000 a day then.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a great day, Victoria, and good luck with that.
Bye-bye.
I'll hit a couple of emails. Let's see. This is from Hunter in St. Pete. What's your concern level with phthalates used for gel caps for many supplements, medications, and vitamins? Well, the ones that I use don't generally have those things in them. You can see the actual ingredients in the labels of the medications or the supplements that I use, and the plastics are not plastics. So that's why you don't have phthalates in the gel cap. They're actually cellulose caps. So cellulose is just plant fiber. It dissolves in your stomach. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. We have Sarah on the phone.
No, Sarah is answering the phones.
Oh, she is. Okay, good. And kimchi, we talked about that, and reversing cognitive decline. Oh, Jammin cut out my signal. Please respond via email. Just desperate for full brain function. I'm not sure what you're asking for here, but I would buy the book, Reversing Cognitive Decline, or End of Alzheimer's is the title. End of Alzheimer's, Reversing Cognitive Decline by Dale Bredesen, Bredesen. And that can give you a guide for helping clear up your mind and brain. And I got to tell you, this has been a wonderful show. Great engagement. Thank you for all the great calls. I really appreciate you all. And thank you, Bill, for another production day in the studio. And Sarah, thank you for answering these phones. Couldn't do it without you. And anyway, I'll see y'all next week for another round of Ask Me Anything. And have a great week in the meantime.
And thank you to you too, Doc. It was a fantastic show. I learned a lot, and it's always fun. And to Sarah, we could not have done the show without you, as I say, because you make it happen on the phone booth. And everyone on out there, until next Monday at 10 o'clock, I'd like to say thank you very much for participating and listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show here on WMNF Tampa. And everybody out there, of course, take care and stay healthy. You have been listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa. Coming on up next is 5 minutes of NPR News, followed by the Sustainable Living Show, hosted today by Annie Ellis. So until next Monday at 10 a.m., thank you for supporting and listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa. your community conscious radio station. Stay safe, stay thoughtful, and know that you are loved.